r/askreddit. What is something that makes you say, man, I effing hate people? Working in customer service. Absolutely. If you have never worked in customer service before, I can assure you it's worse than you think. There definitely are a lot of harder jobs out there, but I swear I'll lose my sanity working customer service. That is what killed my faith in humanity. Everyone wants it free and now or I'll get you fired. You stick to the rules and customer complains to higher ups and they give them what they want anyways. You try to work with the customers and high ups get on your case for not doing it right. Oh, you mean just apologizing to people for shit that isn't your fault? People who litter. Especially when there is a bin literally a meter away. Kobe, oh shit, I miss the bin. Might as well leave it there for someone else to pick up. I work at a university. This was the first week back to school and I've seen so much litter everywhere. Earlier this week I watched a girl drop a stack of napkins on the ground, look at them on the ground, look around to see if anyone was watching, kick them under a car, and then walked away. It's not like it was windy or anything. They were right by her feet. People who litter but then act like they care about the oceans on social media. Nothing makes me lose respect for people faster than when they litter. My BFS friends have a habit of throwing rubbish out of the car window like it's nothing and it drives me mad. Managers fire incompetent workers to secure their own position. Much worse is managers refusing to fire incompetent workers because they are lazy or don't want to stir the pot. The other one that annoys me is when the ladder gets gummed up with these sorts of people at multiple levels. Oh, to move up you need to funnel through this position, but Steve is in that position, and he eliminates most of the people he can who threaten him. And the people above Steve don't want to have to fire Steve or move him somewhere else because he isn't competent enough to move up, but isn't incompetent enough to easily fire. And then they complain why they have no motivated people trying to move up. As a manager, I'm currently dealing with sort of the reverse situation. I have an incompetent worker who has a very high opinion of himself and is always gunning for my position. When I have to shut him down, call out his incompetencies, I get to hear through the grapevine that he thinks I'm only attacking him because I know he could do my job. It's pretty gross. You frequently encounter people with skewed perceptions of themselves when you work in IT. Plastic litter on nature trails is really fucked up to me. Like, how does one enjoy a nature trail and at the same time think it's okay if we all toss Gatorade bottles there? Plastic litter on nature trails is really fucked up to me. And why the hell do dog owners take the time to pick up their dog shit, put it in a bag and then leave the plastic bag full of shit along the trail for everyone else to enjoy for all eternity? I'd rather the dog shit, at least it goes away eventually. What the hell is wrong with people? Here in Oregon there is a 10-cent deposit so they don't lay around for long anymore. Not that that forgives the lazy fug who just tosses shit, but at least it helps that some people pick cans and bottles every day. Workplace politics. Period. Guess this common evil that makes working life a continuous, living medium grade hell for every one of us struck a chord. This is my shortest comment that got the most upvotes, and lot of metal thrown at it, for the first time. Thanks a lot to all you kind anonymous redditors for the platinum, gold and silver. Got me a peep into our platinum and orange as well. Also rip my inbox. Trying to reply individually to each comment, especially the ones I feel the most for, the people who had to give up their position for being victims of office cloak and dagger politics. But with so many replies pouring in, may not be able to keep up, though I am reading every one of them. High school drama never ends. It just puts on business casual and starts drinking coffee. You've come in early every single day since you started. We've given you a number of new job requirements that weren't a part of the position when you started, and you've done everything well enough that there have been no complaints. But we just can't give you that raise, because your position's title just doesn't dictate that we give you more. Also, the company is in flux, don't you know? And even though the CEO's salary went up by $1 million this year, we just don't have the ability to give you $5,000 more a year. But if you keep doing your job as well as you have been, and you keep up with all the new things we keep giving you to do despite them not being really your job, well then maybe after another year, we can maybe have a discussion about maybe giving you more compensation. Maybe. Oh shit, I totally dropped the ball on this. Better blame Iron Man 288 for it. Big mistake, Karen. I have records of when I completed that work and passed it off to you for your part 6 weeks ago. Thanks for digging your hole deeper though. Now it's more entertaining for me. Coworkers are not friends. It sucks, but it only takes getting stabbed in the back once to know it's true. When a coworker decides to correct me by sending a passive-aggressive email and copying the boss and the whole group instead of just saying something to me privately and in person. I do this to people who straight up refuse to answer emails until their boss is copied. I send 10 emails, no response. I copy their boss and suddenly it's, why didn't you come to me privately? Why didn't you just remind me when I list all the times I tried to do that? They still try to make me the bad guy. Look, sorry it's embarrassing, but I can't put my life on hold because I'm a lower priority to some people. My boss used to send out cryptic emails to the entire company about behaviors instead of speaking privately to the person. Things like reprimands for gossiping or reminders to have a positive attitude. It just made everyone wonder if she was talking about them. After working as a critical care nurse for years now, you'd think it would be the countless IV drug abusers or alcoholics that I treat in the NICU. But it's not my patients that make me think that. It's their families. I get that most of the time, people are nervous for their loved ones. They don't want to lose their parent. But I see this situation happen over and over. When it's time, people can't just let go. So 95-year-old Nana comes in and has trouble breathing. We ask her if she would want to be intubated if necessary and says no. She doesn't want that or CPR. But there isn't a form and her daughter is healthcare proxy. Too bad the family doesn't respect that. So we tube her. But her blood pressure can't handle the sedation, so we need to start pressors. Then she developed a pneumonia, so we've got to pump her with antibiotics. But oops, too bad she's already gone septic. Start some more pressors. Who care if she loses a few fingers and toes in the process? We've got to BP right. Get some bedside dialysis going too. Might as well. Until ultimately, we tell the family it's getting to be futile and we should really just make her comfortable for her own sake. But no. They don't agree. Fuck your years of schooling and experience. So Nana codes. I do chest compressions and break all of her ribs in the process. We shock her and slam her with drugs and fluids for a half hour until eventually there's literally nothing more to do. I'm sorry, I know this was such a long rant. I just got off an overnight. But it's happened so often and every single time I just think of the agony we put this person through in their last days on earth, all because a family couldn't respect their loved one's wishes. Please. When it's time, just let me pump them with morphine and Ativan and let them go in peace and comfort. ED nurse here. Spot on. Or even worse, you get Nana coming in just barely pre-code with the one family member who's been taking care of them throughout whatever terminal disease process they have. They have leveled with the idea that their mom is going to die and is DNR. The patient is about to die when all the family members who haven't been around run and screaming at you that you need to save Nana, that she'll bounce back, that she has more time, that you don't know what you're talking about, that if you don't save her they'll kill you, etc. Speaking as a veterinary nurse, I can totally relate as it applies to the way people can be so self-serving at the end of their pets' lives. Like, no, you probably shouldn't pursue chemotherapy for your 17-year-old cat who also has diabetes and renal failure. Let the cat be comfortable with palliative care and do the right thing when its quality of life is clearly diminished. People seem to want to treat unbeatable illness out of guilt or pride, but really you are potentially just putting your pet through more misery. Edit. Lots of sad stories in these replies. Thanks to everyone for sharing. To those asking me whether or not they made the right choice, it is completely up to you, your pet, your family, and your veterinarian. You know your pet's best, but also your veterinarian is not going to suggest euthanizing your beloved pet just because they are bored and ran out of things to do that day. The subject of euthanasia is broached only when it becomes clear that there is a degree of suffering that isn't going to get better. Please forgive yourselves for doing right by your ailing pets. Peace be with you. I felt this in my soul. 5-year IQ nurse here. I had to quit. We treat animals better than we treat elderly humans. It broke me. Might seem trivial, but it fucking drives me nuts when people get off an escalator and just stop and decide where they want to go next. It's like, I can't stop this thing, you need to keep moving. Also, people who stand in doorways. Edit. Wow, I am so glad others feel the same. Also, thank you kind stranger for my first gold. This happened to me at the airport a few weeks ago. Guy gets to the top of the escalator with his huge piece of luggage, stops instantly, and pulls out his phone to look at something. Meanwhile, myself and about 6 other people with their own luggage are right behind him. Of course, he still had the audacity to get upset when I push past him and let him know he needs to move. I don't get it. People being assholes to servers hosts at a restaurant. My mom used to tell me, don't mess with the person who cooks your food, when I was being mischievous or difficult as a kid. I think of it all the time in regards to coffee shop restaurant courtesy now. I was a server, and I was told that suicide is the only way out. Looked at me like they wanted me to off myself right there with a dinner fork, for their amusement. What rotten people I had to deal with. Thankfully they were just a minuscule fraction compared to people that were genuinely pleasant to serve. And I don't wait tables anymore. And follow it up with, sorry, I'm blunt. It's just me. No, you're a fucking ass is what you are. People. Edit. AI thanks for the awards guys. 3. What a bunch of bastards. Anytime I hear about rape gangs, child prostitution rings or morgue parties, a lot of people are just screwed in the head. What are morgue parties? People like Epstein were so brazenly breaking the law. The worst part of this is that Epstein was the ringleader, but there are currently dozens, if not hundreds, of pedophiles that were employing his services who will likely never see any kind of repercussions for their actions. Even when he was alive, they were already setting him up to be the fall guy. Lately there have been quite a few instances of someone or potentially multiple people putting poisoned meat out near dog parks. There is absolutely no valid reason to do that, and I hope they catch the asswipes. My colleague's dog died because of this. She was devastated. They called themselves dog hunters for some reasons. Not me, but my friend lives in an area with a lot of stray cats. Every morning he would feed a few random strays in the area, play with them a little before going to work. A few neighbors of his does that as well. Recently a good number of the cats dropped dead. Apparently someone fed them poisoned meat or something of the sort. No one really has the clear details. He said it's heartbreaking to just wake up as usual, head out and see several cats and kittens lying dead. Where I live, a third world country, fairly recently someone donated bags of high quality dog food, pedigree and such, to a dog shelter. Turns out all the food was poisoned somehow, and all the dogs in that shelter died, and all their food went to waste as well because they mixed the new food with the older bags, so basically they ended up losing all the dogs and all their food. People that find the utmost joy in saying nasty shit behind others' back. Either that or people that plot on other people's demise, you know, like sit there and watch them make a mistake only to use it against them for their own personal gain when they could have just helped them in the first place. People who say, oh, it's their job to clean up after me, or I'm making sure that they're still employed as an excuse for not cleaning up after themselves in public. Like, no. You don't leave a soda spilled everywhere and then not even attempt to clean it up. You don't leave rolls and rolls of toilet paper all over the floor in the bathroom. You don't leave bags of popcorn and drinks and popcorn all over a theater floor and seats. Take responsibility. Clean up your mess. My dad does this. I work in the cinema so I get free tickets, but he refuses to clean up after himself and says it's their job. Does he not realize I literally work there? Screw his free tickets. People who mistreat animals. I just can't fathom the mindset that enables someone to hurt truly innocent creatures. I agree. Animals deserve respect and protection. All animals. Not just the ones we like. People who drive drunk or texting. But I can do it. It's just everyone else who'd be dangerous when they do it. People who don't return their grocery cart. Like, who do you think you are? At Aldi you can pay for the privilege of not returning the cart. Porch pirates. People thinking, hey, I know that's not mine but I want it so I'm taking it, makes my blood boil. We had that happen in our neighborhood once. Now I'm surrounded by 3 very, very nosy neighbors. Any strangers in the cul-de-sac and 3 sets of blinds get split by suspicious figures. I could have the Hope Diamond delivered by Amazon to my doorstep and I wouldn't worry about it. They can't even know what it is most of the time. It's the epitome of scum. Student paramedic in the UK here. For context, you don't pay for healthcare in the UK, including the ambulance service. We often have patients who will ring us up and say over the phone things like I have chest pain. Chest pain is a high priority case and often gets dispatched as quick as possible. But upon arrival they will tell us I never said I had chest pain, yet we ring and ask for a transcript of the conversation and there it is. 9/10 times we have to take them into hospital to check they're okay just in case there is any heart or lung issues. But people will lie to get things seen quicker through the emergency pathway. But people will get us out for anything because they can't be bothered to A. drive themselves, B. pay for a taxi, C. get public transport, or D. wait to see their GP, family doctor. You can leave people at home and tell them you won't take them, but if they ring back another crew will be sent out, or even worse, something bad could actually happen and you're stuck with the liability. It makes me so annoyed people see it as a taxi and not as an emergency service. But let me clarify, this is a small amount of people, but they're definitely there. Edit. My personal opinion. For all those saying this is why things shouldn't be free, this is a minority of people who do this. All of my patients are treated with dignity and respect. I've had people who've come off motorbikes, attempted suicide, heart attacks, pulled muscles, chest infections, the works. I know each and every one of them, no matter how dire the circumstances, will be treated fairly and equally for their condition with a care plan to look after them after they leave hospital. The NHS has saved my life and countless others and takes a small sum out of my taxes at the end of the month without the worry that I need to fork out for insurance. From all the comments for American and other EMS colleagues from around the globe, you guys are rocking it, by the way. Keep up the stellar work. The situation is similar in their work. People just don't pay, as a result your insurance premiums go up, and to pay the difference, in the end everyone pays for everyone else. Edit. Important. Please don't let this put you off calling an ambulance. If you are genuinely worried about yours or someone's health, call us up. We'd rather arrive and find it was nothing than be called when you're at your worst. Just give us some snacks. Yeah. Thanks for the gold. And the platinum. When people twist the truth and accuse you of things you didn't do and people side with them. Oh boy. I went through a divorce. I could prove every lie she told wasn't true, and people still sided with my ex-wife about the terrible things she accused me of. You just have to accept people will believe whatever they want to hear first and accept it as gospel. When they did something obviously wrong and still openly denies it. Driving. Every single day. Basic goddamn concepts like merging, passing lanes, blinkers, etc. always seem to elude the backwards dumb thugs in the redneck infested state that I live in. It's really not hard to pay attention to what you're doing on the road. Some people are absolutely fucking brain dead though. Edit. Tie for gold and silvers. Animal cruelty really makes my blood boil. Adults who take youth sports way too seriously. When people don't pick up their dog's poop. YouTube, Instagram, social media influencers who make a living off being an obnoxious piece of shit, with thousands, millions of mindless drones rooting them on, buying their merch, giving them advertising power, and imitating them. Edit. And to clarify, I'm not talking about all influencers. I'm specifically talking about ones who harass, annoy, and distress people, usually completely random bystanders, cause drama, and have a mindless legion of followers who support it all the way. People who abuse their power and get away with it scot-free. One of my friends are being bullied to the point of wanting to commit suicide because he is against underage drinking and drugs. People who can't take no for an answer and will push you to agree accept what they say. People who can't accept criticism when they fuck up and affect other people's lives. People who can't have a discussion where they are being told a fact and they disprove it because back in the day, or authority arguments should always win. It teaches you some hardcore patience when you have to deal with people like these on the daily. They can't shoot up, man. Just endless babbling. The average person is insanely needy for attention and can't tolerate silence at all. FaceTime. In public. Man, fuck those people. Every day when I hear about the next despicable vile thing done by the human race. Especially if it involves kids or animals. People can be so cruel. So a guy was tailgating me. Seriously. Not like he was kinned off clothes. I'm talking I tap brakes and we are both done kinned off clothes. I'm going over the speed limit too. So when he finally goes to pass me, I go to flick him off. I turn to do it, but he's already flicking me off, totally taking the steam out of my middle finger. He was the one driving like an asshole. Driving. I always ponder the dangers of overpopulation when driving. Gestures broadly at everything. Lazy fugs who can't put their shopping carts away. Assholes who pull out in front of you when there's no one behind you. Dipshits who are mowing and blowing their grass and trash into the road. Fuckwards who double park. Cunt bubbles who don't tip no matter what. Knob goblins who take stuff from the frozen food section and leave it elsewhere in the store. There's more, keep it going. Cheating in most of its forms. Whether that's having sex with a person other than your partner or driving in the emergency lane to cut ahead of traffic, it doesn't matter. They both get me flustered. Weirdly, I don't consider cheating in exams or in sports to be that bad. Though that depends on the manner of cheating. People who abuse the elderly, disabled, children, animals or anything that cannot defend itself pushes me over the edge. I can't comprehend why anyone would do that. Reason for the shit punctuation is I never bothered in school, so sorry for that.